Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are playing some modded Minecraft, which I haven't played on stream in a long time. I've been doing some work and stuff to the base and like collecting and having a good time, but I haven't really been streaming it much. I know I've had a lot of cancelled streams recently, and that's because I've been ill or something's come up. But I will try and keep to a more consistent schedule going forward. I'm really excited. So yes, today we are playing modded Minecraft, and I'm hoping we can play with the T mod that we tried to play with the last time, and we kind of didn't really get to do it because I couldn't find certain plants, but I went searching and I finally found everything that we need, which is exciting. So we can play around with the T mod today. Currently I'm in the Nether, my most hated place ever, but we're in the Nether and I was just gonna try and see if I could find some blaze because we need the blaze powder to fuel all the kettles and teapots and stuff. So we can start with raiding hopefully what I think is it's not a bastion, it's a fortress. I think so hopefully we can get some blaze from here. I haven't been lucky with finding much in my nether areas, so hopefully we can find some blaze here. So yeah, we are going to be hopefully getting some good loot from here. But I'm very nervous because we are going across lava and it's kind of risky. Hello Puli, welcome into the stream. I hope you're doing well. We're playing a bit of modded Minecraft today. I'm super excited. Hopefully we can play with that T mod that we couldn't play with the last time. I'm hoping I can get that all done. Hopefully the Minecraft audio is coming through. Right now we are gonna try and see if we can get into the fortress and find some blaze, because I need blaze powder so that I can fuel like the tea kettles and stuff so we can play around with the mod. I'm glad the audio is good. I have got some music in the background. I hope that's not too loud also, but people can just let me know through in the chat. So yeah, I'm excited to finally play with the T mod and not just make coffee. Not that there's anything bad about coffee. I love coffee, but so blaze are the little fire spinny dudes. I'm not sure if you know them. And they drop these blaze rods, and what you can do is you can crush them down into powder, and they act as a heat source for like when you're making potions, or in this case for the tea and coffee mod. I'm just making myself a little safe way to get back and forth because I am very clumsy and platforms are very much needed for me. So yeah, we're gonna see if we can get some extra. I do have a few back at the base, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. And I have been trying to collect as many blaze rods as I can, but this nether spawn that I have gotten hasn't been lucky when it comes to blaze. I've gotten magma and ghasts, but not many blaze. So I'm hoping there is something here. It is very dark. I'm hoping you can see okay. I can hear all the pigs. Okay, we've got ourselves a little passageway. Oh, there's piggies. I hope. I don't need pigs. I very much just need... Ooh. Oh no. I only need a blaze, but it seems like this is just a pig fortress, which isn't good for us. I don't need that. Okay, there are more on this side. Come this way. Come on. They are indeed coming. And I hear Ghost. Great. Ooh, loot. I am not gonna say no to loot. Beautiful. I actually don't need the chest plates or the axes, so I'm not really gonna take those with me. Oh, there's a lot of piggies down there. But there's also blocks of gold here. I'm not a speedrunner, so I don't actually know where all of this gold is like hidden, because I know it's hidden in the walls. Not a lot of these places, but yeah. Ooh, oh my goodness, it's mending. I have been looking for a pickaxe with mending. Soul speed on those booties as well. That's exactly what I need. We'll take the magma. Yeah, okay, that was a good one. Ooh, golden carrots. Let me open up my backpack. I keep forgetting in modded Minecraft that you have a backpack. So you can pretty much just take everything with you. And I think there's a gold block somewhere back here. If I'm not... Oh goodness, that could have not gone well. Or is there not one in this one? Okay. We have to slowly make our way down. They are definitely coming. I'm very scared. These places are like mazes, honestly. So what I'm gonna do is make myself a little safety hatch of sorts. So that they can't follow me. Now they should not be able to get through. Block off that. That. Okay. We have to be very safe. Okay. Back in we go. Let me eat some of this golden carrot first. Please don't laugh. Okay, if he drops down here. You have to be smart with these things. Plus, I am prone to dying. No, did it fall in the lava? It did. That is so unfortunate. Right. We're gonna continue mining this way. Wait, where's my little... There it is, okay. This is how safe you have to be in Minecraft. It's a dangerous place. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I'm scared. Okay, let me get some more of these blocks just in case. Oh my lord, look at all those pigs. And I don't see a single blaze. So I think we'll just have to head back and hope that the loot we've got is enough. Uli coming in with the bonk. Thank you so much. Wait, how do I get out of this bit now? Did I ruin some stairs? Thank you for the bonk, Puli. Let's just head back. I think hopefully I should have enough blaze rods. And on our way through, maybe we'll find some more. We shall see. It definitely does look spooky. A question. Oh no, which one was the way home? Where did that way go? Who knows? Oh, we're summoning a lair creature and asking a question. Okay. Little mushroom guy is our creature today. Isn't he so cute? He's joining us from the depths of the lair, which is so fun. And as for the question, how am I finding Stardew Valley? I'm really, really loving it. I'm obsessed. I've created another, like, sort of just save for just me to play, which is exciting. I'm gonna do it completely different to what I'm doing on stream, but yeah, I'm really loving it. I knew I'd loved the game anyway, obviously because I've been playing it a long time. I've played it since it released, but I've never fully completed it, and I know he's coming out with the Haunted Chocolatier, which I'm so excited for. It looks so good. So I kind of want to complete Stardew Valley before that comes out, because it's kind of set in the same world also as Stardew Valley, so I think it will be very cool. And I think it's such a good game that I just need to just complete it already. I think it's time. Yeah, I kind of did just choose the same farm because I liked that I got 2 chickens. Okay, now that's sort of safe for me. I just have to follow my little pathway. It really— oh goodness, I did not do this bit. Okay, I just have to run across and not look. Just look straight ahead. Oh, that's so scary. It is exciting. I'm really enjoying it. I'm happy that I'm playing it again. Because I go through phases, I think, with games where I just love them and then I lose interest and then I go back to them. But I feel like with Stardew Valley, you can't really— like, you can do that, but by the time you sort of go back to it, you've forgotten everything, you know? Like, and you have to, like, go through it all over again. Oh, hello. Don't mind me. So this time I just want to play it through until it's completed. I think I can take that off the map. Like, I'm getting a lot of these sort of bastions, but not a fortress, which is not good for me. Also, I think I've put the same song on like a loop repeat, so I'm just gonna quickly change that up. I wish there was a repeat playlist when it finishes. That should 100% be a thing. Oh, pigs, please. I don't want to bother you. I just want to make my way back home, please. Thank you. Sadly, we found no nether rods, but we found some other goodies, I suppose. So, this, I'm not sure if any of you can remember what our house used to look like, but it's gone through a big change. So let me just put some of my stuff away. Where did my little obsidian hat go? Did it break? It might have broken. Did I not have obsidian booties? Oh, I have. Do I have them on? I might have them on. Anyway, so this used to be the kitchen area, but I changed it into like a little entranceway, and we've got a rug and a chair, lots of paintings. We have Bruce and Riley, and we also have a little parrot friend. So if you have any name suggestions, let me know. But this is now like a little cozy living room, front room kind of thing. It's got chairs and plushies, and it's just cute. Bruce is doing some bills, and our parrots just sat on the desk. And then I moved our kitchen down into this area, which used to be our craft room. And I think it works very well. It's nice and big now. Here we have all our furnaces and goodies like that. I'm just gonna plop my backpack here on the ground for now. And I'm gonna put these things in there because I'm not gonna need them. So yes, our bedroom, we have 2 new puppets also, which is exciting. So again, name suggestions if you have them. But we have like little fairy lights and paintings, and it's so cute and cozy. But anyway, that's our home in the wall. And now you might be wondering, where did all the storage go? And if you're not wondering, I've made you wonder now. I've created like a little storage area down here. It's not finished, but all our storage and like our workbenches and stuff are down here, and we can access it through this terminal, which is very nice. It makes things so much easier. So yeah. And what we're doing today is making tea. So we'll go to our little tea shop that I've created also. I've been working up here on our farm areas, so maybe I'll go into free cam. Let me go into free cam. So this is what it's looking like right now. I've been working on extending outwards on these like little plateaus. I've decorated the little dock area that our production is going well. Oh, I hear phantoms. Hopefully they don't get me. I don't think they're able to get me. I should have monster protection. Maybe just to make myself a bit safer, I'll go and hide somewhere. Yeah, I should have monster protection here. I'll go sit in here with our villagers while I show you what I've been doing. I think it looks really pretty at night too. And I've been tidying up like the different areas for our crops. I made a little pond up here, and I've extended the farm up here. We've got bees now, which is exciting. And I want to make like a little villager breeder in like a little barn up here. And I've also made a little tea shop in the side of the mountain with all of the flowers that we need to make tea. And in here it's super... It is, yes. I'm taking it very slow, but I like it. Here's our little tea shop, and it's got everything we need to be making teas inside. So, what have you got? No, I've been trying to get mending for so long from this guy, and he's just not giving it. Anyway, let us go to the tea shop. I've made a little pathway that leads over to the tea shop. And here it is. It's super cozy. I love that you can like sit in these chairs. But I'm just gonna put little tables out by here so you can look out at that view. And look, we have a little cake display, which is so cute. Anyway, tea. Ooh. we finally have everything that we need to make a tea. So if we go into our little quest book, here it is. So I've collected all that. Now we need to just basically follow these quests, which is what we were meant to do the last time, but I couldn't find the lavender or anything. Like, I searched so far, but now I finally have it, so we can finally play this mod. So we're just gonna complete this together, hopefully, by today. We've already made coffee, so we kind of know the mechanics, but not well. So first we need to double flower power. So if you give to nature, nature will always give back. While things like coffee, rooibos and yerba mate can be planted and framed, flowers like lavender and hibiscus cannot. Luckily, they can easily be duplicated using bone meal to save you from having to find more. So to get lavender in a brewable state, use shears to harvest lavender blossoms. Be sure you duplicate them first, as lavender blossoms can't be replanted. So we need to go and get some shears and some bone meal, and then we can finally make a start. I think I might have shears. I know I have bone meal somewhere. Where? I'm not sure. I have bones, but that's in case I find cute dogs on my travels. I kind of don't want to take... Oh, here's our shears. And we can turn these bone blocks into bone meal. Now I've already got quite a few flowers planted and duplicated. But for the sake of the quest, we have the lavender here. Okay. And then what we... Wait, what did it say we had to do? Oh, did we do it? No. Do we need to... Okay. And then we just... And then we just replant. Okay, fun. So I'll do this a few more times. We have about 9. Let's get 10 and we can plant another lavender there. So we have 10 lavender blossoms and we have a hibiscus over here. So we can just bone meal that. Oh, and it gives us a tea blossom. Okay. Does it say how many times we have to do this? Okay, there we go. So we've done that, which is great. And come back into the little tea shop. As you can see, I have the stuff pretty much all here. We might have to get some milk. I have 1 bucket of milk, but we can just go. We've been breeding cows, so we should be fine. Okay, let's go into this now. Okay, tools of the trade. We've already done this too. Craft a stove and copper or iron tea kettle. Okay, so that's done. Now we have to... With tools and materials in hand, you're ready to begin learning to brew. You should start with the easiest to brew tea, rooibos. The kettle can be intimidating at first, but it's actually quite simple. Put a rubber sleeve into the top left square area and a glass bottle in the square beneath it. Then put a bucket of water in the square next to the measured bars on the right to fill it with water. When done right, the progress arrow should begin to fill. Okay, so do I put our kettle on? Let's see. I don't know why that one's not lit, but this one is anyway. So we need ruler sleeve, which we have. Sorry, what did it say? So we just need the rulers, water. Okay, we've got water. Did we need a bottle? And what went there? Okay, there we go. We're making tea. This is so exciting. As you can see, we have a little bit of heat in the kettle, which is from the blaze. I'm so excited to make our first actual tea. We've made coffee, but it's not the same as the tea. We will be an official coffee shop. We did it! Oh, that's so exciting. We made it. We made a tea. It's so cute. Okay. Like, I've already done this. Does it actually want me to go and get a copper one now? That's so mean. But I will, if I have to. We can put our tea here for now. And get a few more buckets of water. I should already have a copper kettle. Let me look. Copper. Yeah, okay. 4 copper ingots and 2 sticks. I can do that easily anyway. So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have sticks in here? No. I have some more buckets, yes. And we can get some water while we are getting some sticks. Oh, an enderman died. That's so sad. They're also great because I need the ender pearls because I'm planning to go to the ender soon. We can get some water from here. Sticks. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. So we made the tea and we made the copper kettle, although I've already made it before, but that's fine. You can never have too many kettles in a tea shop. You never know when one is going to break. So I'm gonna put this kettle in here for now. Okay. Let us see what our next quest is on the list. We got a few things, which is fun. Okay. And we got a jug. Very nice. So, temperature control. The stove warms your kettle, but most teas require higher temperatures. Your kettle can be further warmed by placing blaze powder into the allotted slot. The kettle will lose this heat over time, so keep an eye on it. And it gave us 12. That's very useful. I didn't know you could make blaze powder. I want to actually check that out. Well, I know you make it, but is it also craftable? Interesting. Oh, if I get an alchemist, I can trade him emeralds. Interesting. Well, we know that now, at least. So let's go back into our journal and tea time. You've done all the prep work and know how to use the kettle. It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy your warm reward. So we need to make a green tea now. So I can sort of just search the teas here and we can get the recipes. This is just dried green tea, which we can do. Some dried green tea right here. So now the bottle goes there. And we can fill that with some water. Okay, and now it's making a delicious green tea. I actually don't like green teas in real life. They taste very icky to me. But yes, I think the only sort of herbal tea I've ever liked is there was like this spiced vanilla herbal tea, and I liked it with a tiny bit of milk. It was delicious, but I don't think they sell it anymore, and that's kind of sad. Okay, so we can say we've made a green tea now, which is so fun. Oh, we get a little flowery tea kettle. That's so cute. Okay. Brew all the tea from Let's Do Herbal Brews. Every tea has a unique flavor and buff, so challenge yourself and make them all. Coffee can be brewed alone or combined with milk to make milk coffee. To make black tea, hibiscus, lavender, and yerba mate, you'll need sugar. The rest will brew without anything added, so long as you have enough water and heat. Become a tea master. Okay, so I have all the ingredients that we're gonna need. I have a little bit of sugar. Let's put the teas that we've already brewed here. I want to put anything that we're probably not gonna need in here for now. I'm gonna need glass bottles. We're gonna need sugar. And that cute tea kettle, we're gonna need also. Dried tea. What else? We have the lavender blossom. We have tea blossom. Dried oolong. Dried black tea. We do have some coffees too. And some hibiscus. And we can hopefully now make all of the teas, which is so exciting. So we've made the green. We haven't made black tea yet. So this is dried black tea with sugar. Okay, we can do that. Dried black tea, sugar, and one bottle. And it's brewing. This is so exciting to me. It feels so cozy also, which I love. And it's done. We now have a black tea, which is delicious. Okay, now a hibiscus tea is 1 hibiscus flower and 1 sugar. And this one looks so pretty. So, 1 hibiscus, 1 sugar, and a bottle. I like as well that you don't have to like make really expensive mugs. Like you can just use glass bottles, which aren't that hard to get. We have now the hibiscus tea. Okay, next we have lavender tea, which is a lavender blossom and sugar. We'll just put all our bottles there. I'm also going to refill the little water tank. We need to make sure that we have enough. So they all have their different... Okay. Grants absorption from nearby players. Interesting. Life leech. Transfers health from enemies to the player. That could be very useful for me. Boosts absorption and regen from nearby players. Increase attack damage and armor for nearby players. Provides resistance and regeneration at low health. Fortune improves luck for better loot. And speeds up mining based on depth. That's kind of cool. Okay. Look, our little lavender tea is now done. You wouldn't think tea, like lavender is meant to promote like calm and sleepy, so you wouldn't think that lavender tea would have the feral buff, which is like basically going into a rage mode. I find that really funny. Okay, so we've made lavender. Now we have made coffee before, but let me check that it's... yeah, it counted. So we have oolong tea, which is just dried oolong. And then we have yerba mate, which is yerba mate leaf and the sugar. Eee, so exciting. What's the flask? Interesting. And we get a cute little banner to hang up in the tea shop. This is cute. Are you laughing at me? Because I'm getting excited. It's just so cute. I love it. There we go, we've done our oolong tea. Or were you laughing at like the lavender fact thing? Because if so, that is very funny. So we've made an oolong tea now, which is so fun. And now our last tea is the yerba mate, the yerba tea. So we need a... do I have a yerba leaf? I should. Where is it? There we go. So in goes the yerba mate and the sugar. And it should start brewing. You need some heat and some water. Yes, okay. And then hopefully we'll get the cute little banner, which is so fun. And I'll have all the teas and I can display them. I'm not sure where, but I can display them somewhere. We'll have to figure out a little space to put them, I think. It's almost done. And there we have it. Yay! We have made all of the teas finally. This is like big celebration right here. So now that we've completed that, we get all these tea goodies. And now we have a herbal secret. We craft a brewing cauldron, which we've done. Okay, you've mastered the art of tea and found your favorite flavor. But are you ready for the secret power your tea holds? If you combine 3 of each of the different dried teas in a crafting table, you can create a herbal infusion. This special infusion can be used in a brewing cauldron to take your potion making to another level. Thank you, Pooley. We finally did it. It's taken us this long, but we've done it. So we need to make one of these herbal infusions. So we need 3 oolong, 3 dried green tea, and 3 black tea, which I have on me, so we can do this in a crafting table. So we've done that. We get a free brewing stand, which is great. Okay, and to get our wonderful reward, have you ever wished you could drink several potions all at once? Now you can. With a brewing cauldron and herbal infusion, you can combine 3 potions of your choice together into a single flask. Note, adding the same potions together does not enhance the effect. Okay. So, does that mean we can add a... What? What do we do? Because these are technically the potions, right? Let me take our glass bottles. Do we need to fill these with water? We might have to fill these. Okay, so we have 1, 2... Did I get 3? Three. Obviously we need to put... What goes in there? Okay, herbal infusion. And... I am very confused. What goes here? Oh, okay, it does this. I was very confused for a moment. And I guess it just infuses each of the bottles. And then we will have completed this, right? Interesting. I think we're gonna have to maybe expand the shop just a little bit so we can put our little trophies on display. Okay. What does it do now? Or does it take a little while to infuse? Okay. So, to increase the space for this shop, I feel like we're gonna have to increase it this way, and we're gonna need some materials. So I'm gonna put all our wonderful things here and here. And for the rest of the stream, we can just do a little bit of building because we've done our mod that we wanted to complete for the day. I'm very interested by this. Like, I'm not sure what it wants me to do. Does it just keep going? Very weird. Okay. So we need sakura logs, we need spruce, we need brick, all the wonderful things. And for the next time we stream modded, we're gonna have to have a little look into the mods, and then you can choose which sort of mod we discover together next, because we have quite a few. I've done the basic main ones, but we have a Heart of Homestead, which is, I believe, cooking. We have Whispers of the Wild, which I think it's just growing trees and stuff. We have Roots that Run Deep, which I think will get us to upgrade into these tools. We have Tranquil Tea, which we will be doing. Herbal Hexes. This looks interesting. So this is like a nature magic mod, which does look kind of cool. We then have a beer brewing mod. So yeah, we can brew some beer. Or we can brew wine. Then we have a humongous cooking mod that we can do. Tiny corners. I think this is just basic storage stuff. So yeah, this is all the backpack mod, like the portable life. Then we have Cogs and Whimsy, which is like a create mod, and you can like build giant contraptions with it. Embers Beneath, Wings of Ashes. Damn. So this is, I think, based in the Nether. We have not reached the void yet, but I do want to do that soon because I think it will be exciting, and I really want my elytra. I want to fly. Then we can go to the deep dark. We need netherite before we do that. Foraged Fables. Okay, this is where we can get all these cool different like different kind of tools and stuff, which is fun. Yes. Interesting. I'm not sure what this is. Then we have Signals, which is wireless redstone, which is interesting. This is just all the different tables and crafters that you can take part in. This is just the collectible squishies. And then we have the fishing mod. So we have quite a lot. So if you have any preferences to what mods we sort of do, let me know. Okay, let us have a little look at what we have in our storage. So we're gonna need the Sakura, maybe some books too. We need spruce. Maybe we can get some spruce windows. And brick. I think it was brick that we needed. Yes, I still have a few. We should make some more little bars, like little bar counters too. Let's have a look at those. Bar. Yeah. Okay, so we can make those. Let me see if we have any oak. Oh, no. I can make some oak logs. That is fine. We can take some cabinets too. No, we want to make some slabs. Thank you. And then we can make a few of those. We need chairs. Oh, I have some pine chairs already, which is fun. Lanterns. Do I have any? No. I'm gonna have to try and make some eventually. I have the materials. How are my chickens doing? They are producing lots of eggs, which is a good thing. Okay, let us expand our tea shop. So I think I kind of want maybe we can bust through here. Okay, because that's gonna be where the wall is. Maybe it can just be like a little cozy room. Because we have the windows here, which we can have looking out. And we used the Sakura, looks okay. So we can sort of just frame this like this a little bit. We don't have to decorate like the outside bit completely. And they're the only two windows we're going to be able to have, I do believe. Otherwise it's going to look into a wall and I kind of don't want that. I suppose we could... Let me see how it looks. We could kind of do this, which I think looks okay, right? Maybe we can extend the windows up one. That way more light comes in and it sort of matches this. And then we can just get a little spruce slab and just put it across here. Okay, that's cute. Yeah. This is mostly going to be where we display. So it doesn't have to be too huge. I say as I make it kind of huge. Yeah. So I think we're going to use these spruce slabs for the floor. Okay. And maybe we can put these counters like across here. I think that would look cute. And we can put the chairs that, and people can enjoy their teas while looking out. Oh, we have to check if that thing worked yet. Okay, I am gonna maybe look at this Herbal Brews wiki. Let me see. Mm-mm. Okay, so apparently I do just put the keys in. So maybe we can have a balanced, a regen, and a fortune? Let's see. Because these aren't going in. Mm. Okay. Do I like... I am very, very confused. Because it's not accepting just the flowers, right? Did I check that? Mm. I think we have to make them into potions. I am very sorry. Um, why have I got the wrong brewing cauldron? Hang on. Let me check. So if we do herbal brewing cauldron, that's okay. No, I have the right one, so we can place it down. So how do we make a flask? Okay. Potion of swiftness, which is blaze, water, and sugar. Okay. Okay, so brewing. We just make normal brewing potions then. Okay. Okay. That's why we were giving a brewing stand, I suppose. What did I do with that brewing stand? Okay. So we're gonna want... We're gonna want to look at what potions we can make. Just... I don't have any glistening... Yeah, I have a golden carrot. But how does one make an awkward potion? Nether wart. Oh lord. Let me drop off all my building materials a second. Let us see if we have any of the ingredients to make potions. Like, you'd think you would put the teas in there and like use it that way. Because they're technically potions, but it's okay. Okay, do I have any nether wart? Oh, I do upstairs. Okay, that's fine. For that we need... Look. Oh my goodness, so many potions. Fire resistance is awkward and magma, which we have. And that is awkward and sugar. Okay, I should... Potion of invisibility is a potion of night vision, which is an awkward potion and a golden carrot. Okay, so we need golden carrots, nether wart, sugar, magma. Yeah, I have nether wart here, so it's a good thing I've been collecting that, I suppose. I should have a little bit more here if we need it. I have these golden carrots on me, which is fine. Oh, I do have some glistening melon, okay. And I have potions here. What am I doing? I can just combine those three, and then we can do it that way. Okay. We don't have to go through all this trouble. Let's put that all back, and let's finally complete the entire mod. It takes a while for my brain to catch up, but I did it. Let us see. Okay. So we put those three in, and then we put that in, and then we put... Or we just leave that now? Is that how this works? I think that's how this works. And we can just sit here and wait and hope. Let us hope. Okay, we are almost done. And there we have it. Okay, so we've done it. We've completed the full quest line, finally. This is exciting. And we get a random prize. What was our random? What did we get? Nothing? Oh, that's sad. Did I get golden carrots? Well, that's sad. But yes, we did it at last. It only took us like forever, but we did it. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these things in here. And let us kind of tidy this up a bit. Just so we aren't all over the place. I think I'm gonna keep the tea making stuff in there. Anything for potions we can leave in here. Cute. Okay. Now we can go back to what is most important, building. I'm gonna keep our little drinks in there for now. Okay. So let me check how we make these bricks again. I can't remember. I think we have to go and... Hello, Chris. Welcome in. You used up the hydrate. Thank you. Make sure you hydrate yourself also. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Oh, the plushie trader. We're playing modded Minecraft right now. I don't have emeralds. Ugh. You're on a 3-string streak? Oh my god, that's kind of a tongue twister to say. Hey, you're not fat. And food is delicious. You're not fat. As I say, I'm not fat, I'm just a little bit chubby. That's all that matters. What did I come down here for again? Brick, okay. Brick. And then how do I make those bricks that I like? I think I just make them like normal bricks. Let me make the bricks like that. Where's my stone cutter? And then in the stone cutter? I don't think that's gonna be enough. Oh goodness. Do I have any more clay? Okay, I have a lot of clay. That's fine. It's fine. No need to panic. We have many brick options and I love them. They're so cute. What the heck? Terracotta bricks. I love them. I do, but I'm just like exploring all the mods right now. There are lots of things I need to do on this mod. Like, I really want to try out the create mod. I want to build like a train or something. That could be cool. I need an iron farm too because I have no iron and there's so much I need to do, but I've been too busy messing around with all the mods. sometimes it could get a little overwhelming. Why did I bring my clay up here? I don't have a furnace. I want to kind of do Sky Factory mod. That looks so fun, but I feel like it would take me forever to understand how it works. Yeah, we can make bricks this way. Well, let me just take one of these furnaces with me. What the heck? What food are you eating, Chris? Is there a burger? Even though I had pizza tonight, which was nice, I'm just thinking about burgers right now. Okay, we brought our furnace. We can make bricks while we are decorating. Maybe we can make like a little indent shelving area. To make it look the same, I'm gonna do that. Then I feel like I'm gonna have to do that because it looks weird. And then have the bricks. Like that. We'll figure it out, but yeah, that looks fine. Hot pockets. That's an American thing, right? We can have our little completion banner here, which is cute. And we have a spruce slab ceiling. Do I have my spruce? Where are my spruce slabs? What did I do with them? Did I use all my spruce slabs? I can't have used them all. Or am I just blind? I must have used them all. Okay. Oh, it's like a pocket pizza. Okay. Sounds delicious. I love the sound of Minecraft. The blocks placing is so satisfying. You need to eat more than a yogurt. That looks fine. I can hear a weird creaturing noise. I don't like it. Banana, I suppose that's good. Did I not pick up the leaves? That's just something I didn't do. And I only got one bag? What the heck? Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy, but that's fine. Now that looks weird. I don't like it. Oh, not these devils again. Dudes, I'm trying to do something. Please leave me alone. That looks fine, and I can just do one here. That looks fine to me. We can put this leaf like here. Cute. And although I brought the bricks up here, I have to go down because I don't have my stone cutter. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough after this either. Probably not. I'll just take that with me too, and take more clay. Please make me more bricks. Thank you. Okay, we can put a little bit of the wall in. Okay, we only need a few more. That's fine. I want to put our tea cabinet in here. So cute. Wait, what are the little mushroom things? What are those? Who knows? Who knows what they are? Maybe you have it there. And over here. That's fine there. We need lights in here. That's annoying though, it's different colors. I don't think I like it. Although it could go in the wall. There was a way, I think, to make weird shelves that I don't like, but it's better than nothing. Okay. Slabs. I knew it was one of the things. Let's try that. But I don't want it there. I want it... Now that looks weird. Or can I make it work? That's the thing. Oh, so do you put things in it and it's... Oh, that's cute. It makes it mini. I like that even more. That was so cute. Well, we're gonna have a tea set in there. I need lights in here though. Oh my goodness. Before a creeper comes along and blows me up and I cry. Do I have a spare lantern? I'm sure I can just take one of these. No one will notice. I don't want it on the wall. No. What are you doing down there? I'm guessing it's gonna have to go above the wall. So rude. Okay. We can have like some tea leaves. And this teapot, I love it. It can be displayed here. Or on top of that shelf. Hang on. Hang on. Let me see. Cute. It can go there. Ouch. I just bent my nail. Okay. Let us see where our little drinks are that we made, and we can display them. I really want to do the lavender tea and the hibiscus one. Maybe the oolong tea. They sound like good teas to display. So we can put one of the hibiscus teas right there. That looks actually really good. Probably doesn't taste good, but they're just having a tea party over there. Oh no. Very sorry. Instead of this giant mug, I want to put like those there. It kind of looks like they each have a tea. Cute. And maybe we can do that with this one too. And we can just put this beer right there. And they're just enjoying their tea together. Cute. I mean, this room is kind of bland, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the black tea looks kind of cool too. We have a bottle. Oh, goodness. I don't want you there. Thank you. And I think that's pretty much it for this room. I'm not completely sure what more. Well, I know I could do more with it. Ooh, paintings. Paintings make everything better. That is my little motto. When something in Minecraft doesn't look good, just put a painting there, it's fine. And leaves. Paintings and leaves. They make everything look 10 times better. Okay. We can put all of this away. And I was gonna look for paintings. Okay, we don't have any paintings. Can I make... So we need sticks and wool. I should know how to make these by now, but I do not. We'll use this ironwood as well too. It's kind of a cool color. Wait, how was it again? Oh goodness. Okay, it was more sticks than wool. Got you. And now I've put them all away. I'm always using paintings, so I will make quite a few. There we go. And let me see about a lantern. Maybe we can make another one. Oh, a wearable one? I want a wearable lantern. That's cute. A burning coal lantern? What? Lanterns was I using? I think I was using oil lanterns? These ones. Okay. I need... Do I have iron here or is it all back? I have iron sheets. Yes, I do. Okay, okay. Do I have coal? I do. I need more wood. Wood. Sticks. And... okay. That should be enough lanterns. I love the way you hold these lanterns in the mods. So cute. Let us go and put these. Because these aren't. But in here we can have the cuter ones. We can have one here and one here. Oh my goodness. No, it looks like that's smoking. I don't want that. Why is it weird? We're gonna have to put it there. Okay, that gives a good amount of light. It's fine. As for paintings, I don't know where I'm gonna put them. Okay, we can put one over here. Nope. 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 Let me take that off. We can use these to block. It's a kitty! Cute. Don't know what that is. Mushroom. Don't know what that is. Don't know. I kind of want it to match. Does that match? No. Okay, that kind of matches. That's fine. No. Why is it doing that? I don't want it to do that. I just want... Never mind. You. Wait, maybe I can do one down the bottom. Other than that looks kind of weird. No it doesn't, it's fine. What is that? I don't know, but I kind of like it, it's weird. Mushroom kind of works. But I don't like this one now. Oh god, I'm stuck. See, now I want to block that off, but I can't. I'm gonna have to destroy that and the T. I'm gonna have to do that and that. And that there. My goodness. I keep getting stuck on everything. Two mushrooms. That's good enough for me. Put our tea back. Okay, this is kind of better. I think it's better anyway. Paintings always make things look nicer, in my opinion. Maybe I can take this down and put it here. Okay, that looks better. But I don't have any more paintings. I was gonna put one up there. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's enough. I wonder how a little lantern would look. Oh, it's tiny, but I don't like that. Kind of a burning hazard, but I prefer it on the barrels. This room's kind of cute, right? I think so anyway. It does need a painting there though. Maybe I can take that one. Not that big. Dude. Sorry, shelves. I know you've just gone down, but you're needed. We do not want a Christmas ornament. Or a banana. Oh my god, he's trampling my crops. What a jerk. Okay. And obviously there are so many other decor pieces that I could put in here. Do I prefer this kettle there? And then that one can sort of go there. Like a little mini tea set. Cute. No, I don't want that there. Oh, what was that? I did not know you could do that, but okay. See, I really like this kitty, but I don't know if it fits the vibe. Do we keep the kitty? Maybe we can just put another one of these there. Okay, for some reason it's not letting me, but yeah. This kind of looks like a little bench, but you know. Oh god, where am I? There I am. Eek. I'm on a little bench. Yeah. I think this is okay for now. It doesn't feel as cozy and magical as this room, and I'm not sure why. I am not sure why that is. We can put this wine. Oh goodness. Not everything's gonna fall out of that, and it's a nightmare, but it's fine. We can fix it. That's a jar, but I don't think we need that there. I'll put this jug here. Maybe we can decorate with those two. I don't like how it's floating. Or it's fine. It's fine. Cute. And that's the tea shop. Let me check. Did he trample? No, he didn't. Good. How's our bone meal looking? It's fine. We could actually do a quick harvest of some stuff. Just while we're here. Difficult when it's all cramped together like this. But it's a lot cuter, so it's fine. Yeah, I can't get those middle ones. They're going in the composter anyway. Our carrots. Because I'm soon going to get a villager over here to trade carrots and potatoes. Because I'm always running out of emeralds in this world. There's so much I still need to do. These can go in here. Beautiful. For when we play modded Minecraft next time, I think we're gonna do the herbal hexes mod, just because I like the idea of magical nature. Oh, let me check these. How are they doing? Okay, we're getting some dirt. That's good. Feature they need to add to Minecraft is just when you like harvest, you can just replant straight away. That would make life so much easier. Maybe people wouldn't hate, I don't know, farming as much. Can all go in there. And we have strawberries. Chili peppers, cotton. I have no clue what half of this stuff is for. Oh, these dudes again. Where's my sword? There's my sword. Okay, I thought I was going crazy then. Oh my goodness. How about no, not today, Satan. Where is he? Ah. I am trying to maintain my garden, sir. That's rude. Onions. Thank you. Potatoes, which I am gonna make a much bigger field for eventually. And flax, which again, I don't know what it's needed for, but I would rather have it than not. And that's all that harvested, and we can put it all in here. Onto membrane as well. I don't know why my hotbar is so messy. There we go. Yes, I need to make a vineyard, which I am... Hello, bees. I'm hoping to expand up this area, but I need to go to the biome that has the mud. Because I'm not crafting it, it's too expensive. I'm gonna do like a few more crop fields up here. And then a pathway going this way over to this area over here. And I'll build like a vineyard with like a cool house kind of thing. Which I think will look cool. Anyway, we are reaching the 2-hour mark of the farm. We've completed the one mod that we were supposed to complete a long time ago, but it's finally completed now, so we can take it off our list. And next time we play modded, maybe I'll have a little more structure done. Maybe we can do building, I'm not sure. Or I can gather some materials and we can make a start on the Hexalia, the herbal hexes mod, because that sounds kind of interesting to me. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great time. Oh my god, look at my glasses. That looks so weird. But thank you so much for joining the stream today. Our little lair creature is going to head off and go to sleep, but thank you, Puli, for summoning him for the stream today. He looks forward to coming back. So yes, thank you everyone who joined the stream. I had a great time. I always love playing Minecraft, and it's been a while. I've been so obsessed with Stardew Valley that I haven't really played much, so yeah. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Thursday at 6:30, where it's variety stream day, so we'll see. I might play Stardew or I might play something else. But yeah, thank you and have a good rest of your day.